All right, tonight we're gonna have something simple. It's called a 7-layer dip. As you can see, I have all my ingredients out. I will have that listed for you in this content, as well as I will announce what I have right here. We have the ground beef, pinto beans. We're gonna turn that into refried beans. I have my Old Faithful Universal seasonings. I have green onion, white onion, red tomato, shredded cheese, sour cream. With this kind of dish, you can add more stuff if you like, or you can take some stuff away if you don't like certain things. Okay, first things first, we're gonna brown the ground beef. So, if those of you have not cooked ground beef ever, you don't need any oil, you don't need any water. You just put the ground beef in the pot, in the pan, turn the heat on, and then I'm going to add my seasoning. I don't want to overdo the seasoning because seasoning salt is not good for high blood pressure. And I try to keep things as healthy as possible. So I'm just going to kind of sither some garlic salt. Mind you, the garlic salt is not as bad as seasoning salt. Garlic salt is actually a little bit more healthier. If you do have diabetes, or if you do have high blood pressure, I suggest that you use a simple seasoning called Accent, which I happen to have some in my cabinet right now. Okay, so this right here is really good for seasoning your foods if you have high blood pressure or hypertension. You can use this, it'll season the meat, you will have flavor, and it will still taste great. Also, direct herbs like garlic and thyme, bay leaf, a few others will help you season if you want to go more natural and not have so much salt in your food. Just kind of break it down, chop it up. This helps it to cook faster and more thorough. One thing I do appreciate is that ground beef is probably the most quickest meat that I know that cooks really fast. While the beef is browning, we're going to want to take these beans right here and add them in this pot. We're going to put some water in here, have it to boil, and then after it becomes soft and tender, we'll go on to the next step after that. But for now, we're going to boil the pinto beans. Pinto beans are the best beans to use when you're doing refried beans. You can also use red beans. So just go ahead and boil the beans.
A few moments later.
I forgot to go step by step, but when you are done boiling the beans, which with the beans I added a little garlic salt inside the beans. Once they were nice and tender and soft, I went ahead and mashed them. If you don't want them sticking to the pan, I suggest you use a tiny bit of vegetable oil, just enough to make the bottom of the pan non-stick. And then after you do that, just go ahead and continue to stir. Make sure all the beans are mashed. You see, I see little chunks of bean in here, but just mash the beans, mash, mash, mash. If you don't like garlic like that, you can use regular table salt. It'll enhance the flavor, but you don't need to add too much seasoning because you don't want your beans salty. It will ruin the taste of everything. So as you can see, my ground beef is getting close to being done. Once this ground beef is done cooking, once it's done browning, I will drain all the excess oil out, put it in a strainer, drain all the excess oil out, and then we will start on the next step. Alright, so you put the refried beans on the bottom, evenly distribute the beans amongst the bottom of the pan. If you look at my ground beef, you'll see that it is drained. I had put it in the strainer, and I removed all excess oil that I could possibly remove, because I don't know if anyone's with me, but we do not like our arteries clogged. Now we're going to get the ground beef. We're going to pour the ground beef in. Now, I'm going to take the shredded cheese, add it on top. All right, now we're going to place this in here. And if you notice, it has to be at 350 or less. Once the cheese is baked and melted, then we will remove it out. But this is the perfect time. I'm gonna wash these few dishes out. But right now I will have plenty of time. If I want, I will start chopping up my toppings and getting ready for the next phase.
A few moments later.
All right, as you can see, our cheese is nice and melted on our ground beef and our beans. I have the toppings nice and diced up, ready to go. My next step is I'm gonna add the sour cream, a thin layer of sour cream on the top of the beans and the meat and the cheese. All right. I have my sour cream evenly distributed across it. Now I'm going to put onion. I'm going to kind of leave a little corner out of onion because my little itty bitty doesn't like onion, so I'm not going to put onion on hers. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the rest though. Now, after the onion, here comes tomato. Tomato. In case you're wondering, I washed my hands. You want to keep your hands washed at all times. Sanitary food is the best food. You don't want an upset stomach. It's important to wash your hands. Now, the reason I call this a 7-layer dip is because it has different layers. A lot of people add different things to their layers, so it can go up to 7 layers. Me personally, I just like to have the refried beans, the meat, the cheese, the sour cream, onion, tomato, and green onion. Some people put sour cream, guacamole, olives. But you can make your 7-layer dip to your own liking, and you can add as many toppings as you like, or you can take as many toppings as you like off for those who don't like certain things. Each creation is made for your own liking, and I'm going to include everything I used tonight. If you have any questions, please feel free, leave comments. I can answer your comments. Like, subscribe, and until next time, we will do this again.